So I'm in my HubSpot right now, and the first thing I need is access to my current files on my records. So, for example, I can go into any of the contact company deal ticket records. Right now, I'm in one of the contact records. Once you have CloudFiles installed, you will have this widget on the right nav bar that you can drag up or down. When I click on this add button, this library opens up. Initially, this is going to be completely empty for you. And if you have your files on your local storage, you can simply click and start uploading your files or creating folders and organizing those. However, at the same time, if you use something like Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint, Box, or Dropbox to manage your files, you can also enable these libraries from here. And now you see all of these libraries show up, and I can connect to my existing accounts on these platforms. So, for example, let me just log out from my SharePoint account, and initially it shows me a simple connection process. There's a one-time sign-in process. And now you see my files instantly show up from SharePoint. I can go into my sites and I can do the same thing for OneDrive or Google Drive. So I already have my account connected. I can see all of my shared drives, my start files, and my current drive. And and at this point of time, all of my folders and all of my files from my drives are synced. I can also search in this library, and then I can select these files, or I can also select different folders, and I can attach these to contacts, and I can also create a sharing link. This is something that we are going to cover in the next part. But as you see, wherever my current files are, I can have access to those files on my existing contacts, companies, deals, tickets, and all of my records on HubSpot. So in the last part, we saw how we can instantly get access to our files either on local or on any of the cloud drives on my HubSpot records. So right now, I'm going to be working with my files in my Google Drive. And let's say I want to associate this particular file, this particular Google Doc, to this HubSpot contact, so that whenever I come back to the contact, I can see what I have associated or what I have shared with this contact. So I can just click on this, and for now I'm gonna deselect the sharing option, and I'm only going to attach this particular file to the contact. This is what we call attaching or associating the file. And I can do the same thing for folders. So, for example, I can also select multiple things over here, and I can attach two things at a time. So, let me select this folder and this file, and let me add this to the contact. And now you see these two tiles show up on the HubSpot widget, on the Cloud Files widget. This is my Google Doc, and this is my folder that I have pulled from my Google Drive. At this point, you see that there is no way of sharing this. For example, if I click on these, they are either going to take me to my own Cloud Files account where I'm previewing this file, but this is not really a publicly shareable link. Or it would, if I click on this, it would take me to my Google Drive, which again is not a link that I would like to share. So, in order to share this file further, what you can do is you can just click on this share option over here, and this is going to create a cloud files link. And initially when we were adding the file, if we had selected that checkbox to create the public link, this dialog box would have showed up automatically. Now, at this point, you see that this Cloud Files link has been created, and this is a very powerful link. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of security settings that you can put up on this link. There is a lot of analytics that you can get on this link. This link can also be created for folders. This link can also be created for any type of downloadable or viewable files. And this link can also be created for a collection of these folders and files, which we call the data room. And then you can do a bunch of stuff from this on this link right from your HubSpot record. So in the next part, we'll cover how exactly the different settings, what are the different settings that we can apply, and how what happens when we open this link. So that's it for this part. So in the last video, we saw how we could attach a Google Doc or a folder from our existing Google Drive onto the HubSpot contact. And we also saw how to create this public link. And I can just go back to that link I created in the last video from right here. And you see, we discussed in brief that there are a bunch of security settings on this. So first of all, let's see what this link looks like. So let's say you copy this link, and at this point, you can send it to your contact using emails or any other medium that you use with them. And when they click on it, this is what they're gonna see. So you see, this was a Google Doc, a two-page Google Doc, which was just sitting in my Google Drive, and now it has been sort of converted to a website. So there are a lot of things that you can do on this viewer, and there are a lot of settings that you can put on this link, which sort of control the behavior of your viewer. So, for example, first of all, I can take this link offline anytime. If I just make this toggle and I go back to my link, you see it shows this file not found. So I can take it online and offline anytime, and now it's going to show the file back. I can also disallow downloading. So you see that there is this download button on top, which would download the docx file which was associated with this Google Doc. But if I disallow downloading, and now there is no way to download this doc. I can also preset expiry based on the number of views or based on a certain date. I can put in a lot of security settings. So, for example, I can protect my file with a password where I can specify what the password is going to be. And at the same time, this is a feature which is important for confidentiality, and it's also important for marketing, where you can collect email. So now if I go back to my document, you see it's asking me to provide an email. And there are a lot of things that I can control on what people are providing in this email. So for example, I can enforce email verification, in which case I'll have to either verify my email using a OTP in my inbox or using Outlook or Google. I can also allow or block certain emails and domains. So for example, I can allow only people from a certain company to access the document or disallow free email providers from accessing my document. And then there are some other notification settings. For example, when your clients are accessing the document, you can get an automatic mail. You can also set these things up through HubSpot automations, as we'll see in the next few videos. And then there is a feature of enabling subscriptions where whenever you make any updates to your proposal or to your collateral, those updates are automatically sent as an email to people who have subscribed to your file. Now coming back to this viewer, now there are a bunch of other things that I can do on this viewer. So, for example, I can white label this logo. I can also white label this whole URL to whatever your company URL is. You can also insert your chatbot over here. So this can be your HubSpot chatbot or your intercom chatbot. So there are a lot of interactivity features that are available for your clients. And in the future, we are going to add a bunch of other things. For example, you can talk about this particular page as soon as the person scrolls on this, or other things like that. So in this video, we basically covered what the CloudFiles viewer looks like, what are the different settings that we can apply on the link, how they take effect on the viewer, and also what are the other account level settings or other features that we can add to the viewer to make the file viewing experience more secure, more insightful, and more interactive. In the next video, we are going to look at the analytics part where while the viewer is looking at this document, we're also collecting a lot of detailed and drill down analytics. So in the last video, we saw how a lot of security and analytics settings can be configured on this CloudFiles link, and also how some other features and other interactivity related features can be added to the CloudFiles viewer. Now, while we were looking at this two-page PDF, there was also a lot of analytics that we were collecting on this. So let me close this and go back to HubSpot. And this time I'm gonna go to the actions dropdown and click on the analytics button of my file. So, you see, there are two parts to the analytics that we collect. First of all, there are a lot of details. You can see the total number of views, also the total, so how many unique viewers have been there and how many total views have been there. For example, a single user who's coming back to the file again and again. We also report on the total time that the person has that has been spent on your file, the total number of downloads. We also report on page by page analytics. So you see, you can see the thumbnail of your file. At the same time, you can see how much time and minutes the person has spent on each of those pages. And then so this was the detailed analytics, and the second part was the drill down part, where you can drill down into individual sessions or individual users who have accessed the file. So for example, I see that there has been one access from this particular email, while there have been four accesses which have not been associated to any email. However, these accesses have been from the same device. That's why I can drill down into this, and this particular user, as I see, has this detail associated to their analytics. I can go back and do the same for the first session. So I can sort of drill down into the individual users, into individual sessions and individual devices. And then there are a few other aspects to this analytics. For example, we also post this timeline event whenever your file is viewed, and you can also access this analytics from right here. We are going to talk a lot more about this timeline event and its association with workflows and with dynamic lists which sort of enable you to do all sorts of automations in the next video. But in this one, we covered what all are the different detailed and drill down analytics that we collect on your existing files, on your existing docs, PPTs, PDFs, or any other type of file. So CloudFiles pushes multiple events to your HubSpot, which can enable you to perform a lot of different types of automations. For example, if I go into one of my workflows, let's go into this contact workflow, and I can set up a trigger. And since I have Cloud Files installed, I see all of these different events, the file viewed, file received, link created event, etc. So let me check this a file viewed event. This event is triggered whenever one of your contacts views one of your files that you have uploaded. And you can set different types of filters on this event. For example, which file was viewed, which link was viewed, which URL was viewed. If you have multiple links associated with your file, you can also set filters based on the number of downloads or the number of views or the time spent by the person. So you see, using this particular event, you can do a lot of lead scoring. At the same time, I also said that there are other events. For example, we support this data room feature where you can request files from your customers. So in case any customer uploads the file, this event called file received is triggered, and again you have a bunch of filters in this. And then there are a few other events that I'm not going to touch upon in this video. At the same time, these events that I have showed you, I can use these in my workflows, do my lead scoring or update my properties. At the same time, I can use them in my list. So for example, if I go to one of my lists, my dynamic lists, let's go to this one. And you see, if I just try to add a filter, I'm gonna see this Cloud Files integration filters over here. I can click on this, and again I see all of those events that I previously saw in my workflow. I can choose the file viewed event, and again I see all of the same filters. So not only can I score my leads, I can also segment my leads based on the Cloud Files properties. So this event and its use in workflow and in list, this covers the major bit of automations that Cloud Files can offer. There is another functionality where, in case you want to perform some sort of actions in the workflow that are related to Cloud Files. For example, let's say when a contact, when I create a file, when I attach a file or create a link for a file on a contact, I want to set certain properties on that link. So in that case, I can also use Cloud Files actions. Again, since I have Cloud Files installed, and if I try to add an action in my workflow, it's going to show me these Cloud Files actions which are available, and I can just select these and I can set a few properties, and all sorts of automations are possible. And this is something that we are still developing. We are still adding new actions. So in case you have any custom requests that cannot be satisfied by the current actions, do let us know and we'll see what can be done. This was a very brief overview of what are the automation capabilities. We also have a very strong API which you can use in the Ops Hub in code blocks inside the workflows to pretty much do anything. So this was a basic overview of all the automation capabilities. And in case you have any questions, reach out to us. So I'm in my HubSpot record right now, and I can simply click on this add button in the CloudFiles widget. I can click on this data rooms button, and this shows me all of my existing data rooms. I can also create a new data room from right here. Let me create one. Let me give this some color. And now I can start adding content. So for example, now this can be my Google Drive, OneDrive library. I can also search from here. I can directly select these folders and select individual files, and everything that I'm adding to the data room shows up here. I can also group this content using groups. So just to organize your data room better. And I can also sort these up and down. And I can also, if I want to request files from my customers, I can also add a file request block. And now my data room is ready for sharing. So I'm just going to add this data room to the contact. And this way, the data room starts showing up here. To get a shareable link, I can just click on the get link button, and I can configure all of the settings, all of the security settings from here. I can just copy this link, and now I can send it whatever way I want. Now, when the customer clicks on this link, this is what they see. So this is the standard CloudFiles viewer. All of your content shows up here. You can white label everything. You can have your chatbot and all the subscription settings. You can also now go into these individual files and view them. And anytime you can also come back to your data room. And I can also upload files. So let me just select one. Now, if I go back to my HubSpot, so the first thing is I can see all of the analytics related to the views. So I can see each of the sessions that happened, how many sessions exactly happened, which all files were viewed, what all files were received. I can go into, drill down into the individual page by page analytics. I can also see the received files from right here. So all of this analytics is available. And finally, along with the data rooms, we also provide a file received event. So whenever a file is received into your data room, you can trigger your workflows or filter your contacts based on your in your dynamic list. So that's pretty much about data rooms.